Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another IC Markets pre-market live analysis. Alright, as usual, this is the disclaimer. Remember that everything in this video is educational in nature and nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Okay, so please remember to do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay, so the agenda for today, we will go through the firstly, high impact news events for the week ahead, and also key technical setups to watch out for. Alright, and I'm your host for today. My name is Woon, and I'll be going through with you guys the pre-markets live analysis today. Okay, so for the key news events, right, we don't really have a lot of news in the upcoming week ahead, because we have Christmas and we are nearing to the end of the year. Alright, so usually once we are reaching the end of the year, we wouldn't really have much news. Okay, so you can see Monday we don't have any news at all, so we can expect that the markets will be slow. Alright, meaning that there will be not much volatility in the markets. Okay, then for Tuesday we have the CAD GDP news, and we also have the USD preliminary GDP as well. Okay, and then for Wednesday we have USD unemployment claims. Alright, so I would say only Wednesday, right, we will see much movement in the markets since we have the unemployment claims news. Okay, so usually for the unemployment claims news, we will be a little bit more careful because price will be very volatile. Okay, so on Thursday, right, tentatively we have the JPY news, which is the Bank of Japan governor speaking. Okay, so usually for news, like for example they say tentative, right, you don't have to be that careful because this news is not 100% confirmed. Okay, yeah, so that's it for the key news events for the week ahead. Let me just move on to the charts, as since we are nearing the end of the year, let's see whether we have any trade setups that we can look out for. Okay, and as usual, if you guys have any pairs that you want me to go through with you guys, just type it in the comment section of the live chat. Okay, you can just type any pair. For example, if you guys want me to go through the pair of gold, right, then just type in gold. Okay, then I will go through with you guys. Alright, and if not, let me just go through with you guys. Okay, alright, so first things first, let's go through the okay, first things first, let's go through the DXY chart. Okay, so we could be looking at a bearish movement for DXY. Alright, so let me explain why. Okay, so you can see price has been creating higher highs, wrong tool, where is this one, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and price created a final higher high. But this was a change of character. Alright, and then price created a lower high, lower low, and we can expect price to create a lower high to form a lower low. This is basic market structure. Alright. Okay, so the next thing is, for example, where shall we place our pivot point? Okay, so our pivot point shall be placed at this pullback resistance level. Okay, this is our pivot point. Alright, then for our, let's see if we have any feeble retracement level. Okay, so we do have the 61.8% feeble retracement level at our pivot point. Okay, so but of course we can look at, if I were to show you the weekly we also might have a feeble retracement level. Okay, so let me just mark this out. 38.2. Okay, so this area shows that we have feeble confluence because we have the 38.2% feeble retracement level together with the 61.8% feeble retracement level. Okay, so we are just waiting for DXY to tap into this area and then it will have a free fall. Alright, and then next thing is, of course, for our resistance level, we shall place it right at this first resistance. Okay, and then wait, I think this is at the okay, then we also have the support. We shall use this area as our first support. Okay, very simple. Alright, let me see if we do have a projection. Okay, yeah, we also have this 61.8% feeble projection right here. Okay, so everything lines up perfectly. Alright, we have three different confluences at our pivot point. Alright, so this shows that price could potentially fall off from here. Okay, so if DXY is projected to go down, then the rest of the pairs that have USD behind will actually go up. Right, this happens most of the time. Okay, so this is the outlook for DXY. Okay, so moving on to Euro Dollar. Let's see. Okay, so Euro Dollar, there is a beautiful level right here that I am actually looking at. Right, you can see that price could potentially react to this level over here, which is a pullback support level. Okay, and if we were to mark out our feeble retracement level, let's see if price, okay, yeah, we don't have any feeble retracement level, but we can use this to mark out. Let's see. Oh, maybe just adjust this a little bit more. 38.2. Okay, so this is an area whereby Euro Dollar can react to. Okay, so we shall mark this out. I would like to put from the body to this feeble retracement level over here, because it makes more sense if price is able to, wait, give me a moment, support area. Okay, so price could potentially hover above this pivot point to go even higher. Alright, because if you look at this long wick over here, price might potentially do something like this and take out this wick over here, right? Because our bias for DXY is sells. Alright, so Euro Dollar will be bullish. Okay, So right now, if you turn on the Ichimoku cloud, you can see that price is above the Ichimoku cloud, and we can expect further bullish momentum in the markets. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I missed anything out. Okay, I don't think we have a projection. Let me just double check. Yeah, we don't have a projection. That's fine. Okay, so the next thing is for our support. Right, our first support shall be placed at this swing low support level over here. Alright, and as for our first resistance, we will place it at this high over here. Okay, so we are definitely projecting for euro dollar to be bullish, to go higher. Alright, so this is the outlook for... Hi Jamilo, good day to you too. Yeah, so this is the outlook for euro dollar. Okay, so let's move on to GBP USD. Okay, so GBP USD is a little bit more complicated. Alright, firstly, right, if you turn on the Ichimoku cloud, price is barely above the Ichimoku cloud. Alright, and it is creating rejection wicks over here. Okay, so what we can look at is for price to bounce off this area over here, this pivot point. Okay, then the next thing is also for our first support, we shall place it right over here. Okay, I wouldn't really place my first support here because there is a possibility that price might come to this level. Alright, so that's why I will place my pivot point here and my support slightly lower. Okay, then we will mark out our okay, so we have the 23.6% Fibo retracement level at this pivot point area. Let me see. Oh wait, okay, we can use 23 and 50. Okay, you can see our first support is also at the 50% Fibo retracement level. Alright, so this could potentially create a... Let me see. Okay, so that's why you can see there is a potential rejection above this pivot point based off our 61.8% Fibo projection together with the 23.6% Fibo retracement level. Okay, so that is what we are essentially looking at. Alright, wait, let me see. Okay, so the next thing is for our... Let me see. Okay, we can use this as our first resistance level. Alright. Yeah. So we are projecting for price to definitely go higher. Alright. Looking at this, I'm pretty sure price will reject off this pivot point and then go even higher. Okay, so that is what I am looking at for GBP USD. Okay, so the next thing is, let's see, USD CHF. Okay, so USD CHF is a little bit messy right now. However, we can potentially look for a pivot point. Okay, so this could be our pivot point, which is a pullback resistance level. Okay, and then let me see. Do we have a fib over here? Okay, since we don't have a fib, oh wait, we do. Okay, so we do have a 38.2% Fibo retracement level. Alright, and I am sure we have a projection as well. Okay, so we also have this 61.8% feeble projection at this level. So what we are looking at is for price to reject this pivot point to go even lower. Alright, so that is what I am looking at for USD CHF. Okay, then for our support, let's see. Yeah, I think this is fine. This can be our first support. Okay, so very simple. We are just using market structure to plot out our trade setup. But for USD CHF, if you guys realize, USD CHF is pretty choppy, right? It creates a lot of consolidation, right? Yeah, previously it was very bearish, but afterwards it started to be stale, right? It was creating a lot of consolidation, trading within a range. Okay, so it was basically trading within this range over here. Alright, if you sell, buy, probably you will have made quite a decent sum of profits. Okay, alright, let me see. Okay, so let's move on to USD CAD. Okay, so let's see. USD CAD. Okay, so for USD CAD, right, my first pivot point will be at this level over here, which is, let me see, yeah, it will be at this level over here, which is a pullback resistance level. Okay, so this will be my pivot point. Alright, I'm pretty sure it is at the 50% feeble retracement level. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it aligns with the 50% feeble retracement level over here. Right over here. Okay, then the next thing is also let me see. Do we have 100%? Okay, we don't have projection, so that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I think we only have the 50% feeble retracement level at our pivot point, so that is what we can look for. So the range for USD CAD is definitely these two areas. Firstly, this is the first resistance. Okay, then the next one is this level over here, which is a multi-swing low support level. Okay, so we are trading within this range. Alright, pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy for this USD CAD trade setup. Okay, then afterwards, let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is the simplest setup so far out of all the 5 different pairs. Okay, so from DXY, Euro Dollar, GBP USD, USD CHF, as well as USD CAD. Right? Any questions so far? Right? So usually I will go through a few pairs, and then if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask and type it in the live chat if you guys have any questions. Okay, I'll wait for maybe 1 to 2 more minutes because the live is delayed on your side, so I'll wait for 1 to 2 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and also if you have any pairs that you want me to go through with you guys, just type it in the live chat. Okay, Why is my screen so small? Okay, one more minute before we continue on. Okay. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, let's take a look at USD JPY. Okay, so for USD JPY, we had a very bullish run previously. Okay, so you can see from this whole area, right, it was a very nice uptrend. Okay, creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, etc. Alright, so right now price is trying to break past this height. Okay, so what can we look at next? Alright, let me take a look. Okay, we can definitely see that this could be a pivot as well. Okay, pivot, but we are looking at a continuation trade. Wait, give me a moment. Let me take a look at okay. So we could possibly take a sell over here, which is a high, right? One of the swing high resistance level at the start of the year. Okay, and the reason why is because it aligns with the 161.8% Fibo extension level. Okay, so you can see how price, if I were to zoom in, you can see how price is creating a Nike tick, alright, towards the upside. Alright, so this is what we can look for the pivot point. Okay, then let me see. Pretty sure we don't have a projection. Let me take a look. Okay, so yeah, and then the next thing is if we were to take let's say we were to take sell here, right, where shall we place our stop loss, or rather where shall we look at for our resistance? Okay, so our resistance shall be at this level over here. Alright, this is because usually price will react to this area over here. These three candles, yeah, price will react to this area. Okay, so we can place this as our resistance as well. Yeah, we wouldn't place it too high because this is already 190 pips. Okay, so you want to be able to trade within this range from the pivot point to the first resistance level. Okay, and the next thing is for our first support, right? Our first support shall be placed at this area over here. Alright, this is our first support level. So we are looking to sell. Alright, let's see if price will come towards this first support level after reaching this pivot point. Alright, should be pretty simple. So if you are looking at the daily chart, the next thing that you should look at is the 1 hour. Okay, so if you were to enter, right, you want to wait for price to definitely close below this area over here. Okay, and then afterwards price could be doing something like this. Okay, so you want to enter off when price closes below this pivot point. Okay, I think it's pretty simple. Let's just wait and see later on when the market opens how USD JPY will actually react to this pivot point. Okay, now let's move on to NZD USD. Okay, so for NZD USD, right, if DXY is saying that okay, we are looking for sales, alright, then NZD USD will have a pivot point over here as well. Okay, so this is considered a let me see. Yep, I think right about here. Okay, this is considered a pullback support, and we are waiting for price to come down to tap this level again. Okay, previously it created a rejection wick, so this means that price is refusing to come down, but so far price is at this level and it could possibly come back to our pivot point. Okay, so let's mark out our Fibo retracement level and see whether there is any areas to look at. Okay, so we are looking at the 38.2% Fibo retracement level, aligned very nicely with our pivot point. Okay, then for our first support, right, we will place it over here, which aligns with the 61.8% Fibo retracement. Okay, so price could either react from here or react from here as well. Okay, either or. Alright, yeah, so the next thing is for our first resistance. Okay, our first resistance we will target back at this swing high resistance level over here. Alright, and we shall see how price could possibly react. I think we do have a okay, so we also have this 78.6% Fibo projection level, right? That's why price created a rejection wick over here. Okay, yeah, so we are looking for price to be bullish for NZD USD. Okay, pretty simple trade setup. One, two, three, four. Okay, moving on. Let's go to AUD USD. Okay, so far, right? AUD USD has already broken past this area over here. Okay, so we have created a price has broken past this level. Alright, so what we can look at next is how price might actually react to this pivot point over here. Okay, so you can see price is approaching our pivot point, which is a pullback support level. Alright, so let's see if we are able to find, we do have the 38.2% Fibo retracement level, alright, at our pivot point. Okay, so most likely price will show some form of, let's see, I think this is also at the 60. Yeah, very beautiful. We also have the 61.8% Fibo projection together with the 38.2% Fibo retracement. Okay, so this could create a bounce for AUD USD. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Pretty simple. And then let's see where is the 38.2. Okay. Next thing is for our first support. Okay. Our first support will be placed at this level over here, which is also another pullback support level. Okay. So two possibilities. Either price will react here or price could react here as well. Okay, but most probably price will react at this level. Let me double check. Yeah, just this. Okay, and then let me see. Yeah, okay, so for our first resistance, we will target back at this swing high resistance level over here. Alright, if you look at the Ichimoku cloud indicator, you can see that price is above the Ichimoku cloud. Alright, so we can look for buys. It is valid. Alright, in line with our DXY analysis as well. Okay, so nothing too complicated, just have to follow the DXY chart as well as plotting your own levels as well. Okay, so far we have finished the major pairs. Alright, we will continue with the commodities as well as indices and crypto. Right, but so far, any of you have any questions? Okay, any questions? If not, let's continue. Alright, the next thing is, let's take a look at oil. Okay, so for oil, right, it is definitely bearish, right? Oil industry is not doing too well. Price is creating a lower low, lower high and lower low, and we can expect price to create a lower high to form a lower low. Okay, so yeah, this is our pullback resistance that we are looking at. So this is our pivot point. Okay, then the next thing is also whether we have any Fibo retracement level. Let's take a look. Okay, we do have the 50% Fibo retracement level. Alright, and I think we also have a projection. Wait, let me adjust this a little bit more. Okay, I think let's put this here. I think it's safer. Okay, so we have the 100% Fibo projection together with the 50% Fibo retracement at our pivot point. Alright, so you see it is like a range, so there is a possibility where price could hover around here like this. Let me just mark it out for you guys, something like that, okay, before it goes lower. Alright, this is what I am actually looking at for oil. Alright, okay. Okay, yeah, so this will be our first resistance area. Alright, and for our first support, it will be right over here. Okay, pretty simple trade setup. And let's see, bearish arrow. Alright, let's see. Yeah, so this is a pretty, I would say is a pretty simple setup for oil. I know a lot of you guys don't really trade oil, right? Yeah, but this is just a outlook if you guys are interested in trading oil. I think oil do respect pullbacks quite a bit, right? You can see, let me show you guys an example. You can see this level was a very nice pullback level, pullback resistance level, and then price just dropped from there, right? And then to continue, okay, so let's say you follow the pullback method again, then stop loss above this high, right? Price eventually went down and broke this low as well, okay. Then if you were trading on a shorter time frame, right, you are targeting let's say right over here, you are targeting this level, okay, then stop loss above this high. Price actually did take out this low again, okay. If you can visualize it and to trade it, right, I think that's pretty amazing, okay. So you just have to keep practicing and find out which pair is the most suitable for you, and then from there you can definitely trade, right, consistently. Okay, let's move on to gold. Okay, so for gold, price is definitely reaching the all-time high, right? Almost. Okay, so what we should look at is buy continuations. But the thing for gold is that, let me see. Let me just take a look. $161.8. Let me see. Wow, the extension tells me that gold definitely wants to reject off this area. But if I were to put this as a sell, let me see, if I were to put this as a sell, okay, let me just take a look. Not much movements. Yeah, okay. I think to play it safe, right? To play it a little bit safer, let's stick to the buys over here. Okay, so there is a very beautiful pullback support level which aligns over here. Okay, so we want to stick to the buys and continue the trend. Alright, so from here, let's mark out our feeble retracement level. Okay, so we have the 38.2% feeble retracement level. Alright, let's see. Yep. Okay, then let's see if we do have the okay, we don't have a projection, but that's fine. Okay, so it's just a very simple setup. If price comes down to our pivot point, then we can look for sells, right? But if it doesn't, then we will not look for sells. Oh, sorry. If it comes to our pivot point, then we will look for buys. Okay, buys. Alright, then for our support, let's see. Okay, I wouldn't put it too far, but this shall be my first support area. Okay, let's see if it aligns with any feeble. Not really. Okay, I think that's fine. The next thing is our this shall be our first resistance area. Okay, let me just mark out our 161.8%. Okay, this is what I am actually looking at for gold. Alright, buys, bullish. Okay, and then we shall see. Alright, so far, if you go to the H4 time frame, you can see that price is slowing down its momentum, but what we want to see is whether price can actually come back down to this pivot point before we take buys. Alright, that's essentially what I am looking at for gold. Right, if it doesn't come back down, then it will actually break past this first resistance level to create another all-time high. Okay, if it does come back to our pivot point, then that's great, because we will have a buy opportunity from here. Okay, okay, now let's take a look at okay, silver is definitely impossible to trade right now. They said that I remember an expert mentioned that in 2026, right, either the first quarter of 2026, silver will actually create a all-time high, right, reaching 100. Right now is close to 70. Okay, so it could possibly go even higher from there. Alright, you can see how from the start of the year it was only 30, but afterwards price actually went all the way up. Okay, so right now we can't really trade silver because there are no levels to look at, but that's fine. Okay, we shall just stick to gold. Okay, so for US 30, let me see. Let me take a look at GJ. Okay, I think this is fine. We can place this as our pivot point. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, then we can place this as our first resistance as well. Okay, so let me show you guys why. Alright, you can see how bullish GJ is, right? So we are expecting price to actually come towards this level over here, right? If I were to mark out a projection, okay, let's see. Okay, our projection is at the pivot point over here, 61.8% feeble projection. Alright, so once price reaches this area over here, we can potentially see a bearish reversal. Okay, potentially. Alright, then from here we can see that this could be our first support as well. Okay, very simple trade setup, right? You're only trading the reversal, but of course you need to look at this area, whether the pivot point is valid. Okay, yeah, so we shall place this as our bearish arrow. Okay, then the next thing is, yeah, so let's see, this is a pretty risky trade because you are definitely going against the trend, right? But it is a good opportunity because price is very bullish and we are expecting a bearish reversal sooner or later. Okay, so that is what we are looking at for GJ. Let's see how many pips it is. Okay. Let's see what other pairs. Okay, how about let's do Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is a little bit rough right now. We don't really know the direction for Bitcoin, right? You can see how price, if you look at H4, right, what is this going on, what is going on with Bitcoin, right? Extremely messy. Okay, so if you were to look at the dailies, alright, the dailies, if you go to this, right, let me see, yeah, we could potentially continue to trade. Let's see, yeah, because price has already broken past this level. Alright, bearish trend line. Okay, so what we could be looking at is sells for Bitcoin. Okay, so this is our pivot point. Alright, and since this is our pivot point, let's see if we do have any feeble retracement levels. 50%. Okay, we can use the 50% feeble retracement level to indicate that Bitcoin could be bearish. And let's see, yeah, and the 61.8% feeble projection over here. Let me see if we do have, yeah, okay, so this is fine, right? And as for our resistance, okay, our resistance will be this high over here, right? This multi-swing high resistance area. Okay, then for our first support, we will target this area over here. Okay, this is our first support. Alright, so we are looking at a bearish outlook for Bitcoin, right? Projecting it to go down even further, right? Because price has broken past this trend line, alright, and it is testing this area right now. Alright, that's why my sentiment for Bitcoin is bearish. Alright, pretty simple, nothing too complicated. Okay, now let's take a look at Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum itself is similar to Bitcoin, right? it broke past this area over here, right? That's why I am also looking at sells for Ethereum. Alright, this should be my pivot point. Alright, and then if we are looking at whether there is any feeble retracement level, I think we do have 38.2%. Alright, but for projection, I think we don't have a projection. Yeah, we don't have. Okay, so this is the area whereby Ethereum will react to, right? You can see we have a beautiful rejection already. Okay, so the next thing is for our resistance, right? This is our first resistance area. Alright, and then for our support will be let's see, yeah, I think this is fine. This is our first support. Okay, we are definitely looking for Ethereum to follow the trend for Bitcoin and to go even lower. Right, most probably the outlook for crypto itself, right? If you look at this lower low, lower high, and potentially creating a lower low, this is the idea for Ethereum. Same as Bitcoin. If I were to go to Bitcoin, same thing, price would probably create something like this, right? Lower high, lower low. Okay, so let's see how it might react in the meantime for the week ahead. I think it is pretty straightforward that crypto might continue to go even lower, right? Because the crypto space right now is definitely a lot of people have the bearish sentiment, alright? So they are looking for sells. Alright. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Okay, so we have covered Bitcoin, we have covered Ethereum, the crypto space basically. Alright, then we have covered the majors as well, all of the majors. Then we also covered commodities except for silver, because silver is way too bullish, right? There are no levels that you can definitely trade at. Maybe if you go to H1 you can probably trade a pullback, but on the daily time frame it is impossible to look at the direction. Direction is clear, but to trade silver it will be difficult. Okay, then we also have, yeah, I think that's about it. For now, US 30, right? I wouldn't touch it as well, because of how bullish it is, right? It just created a all-time high. Alright, yeah, let's see this. Let me double check anything. Yeah, I think should be fine. Okay, alright, that's all for the trade setups, right? The one that I'm looking forward to would be gold. Alright, let's see how all these instruments will play out for the rest of the week. It might be a slow week due to holiday season, right? But nonetheless, we are still looking forward to a fruitful week ahead. Okay, so that's all from me to you guys, right? Yeah, thank you guys for joining in to today's pre-markets live analysis, and I hope you enjoyed the session as much as I did. Alright, so remember to always stay safe and trade safe. Okay, I shall see you guys in the next pre-markets live analysis. Alright, so that's all. Take care and bye bye.